What is up? Welcome in to a special live edition where we have some breaking news. This is Cincinnati Bengals Talk. I'm James Rapien. He's Andrew Fox Miller. Hopefully you checked out our instant reaction to the Bengals additions, major additions. Boye Mafe, obviously a huge one. You have a guy that's really going to get some juice off the edge and needed to get the hell out of Mike McDonald's system. So works out for him. And then you got my guy. I was really tempted, Andrew, to rock the Bearcat hat. But yeah, my guy, Bryan Cook. In fact, I'm going to do it. It's Bearcat season,
what's holding
baby.
you back? I was wondering if I should pour a beer or not. Nothing's holding me back.
Bryan Cook, look at you. Yeah, I do not have a beer. But we are going to start with the news that just broke, like right before we hit live. We'll answer your questions. We'll be around here. But Devin Lloyd has agreed to a deal that I got to be honest with you, Andrew, I might have done this Devin Lloyd deal, and it's 3 years, $45 million to go to the Carolina Panthers. Beautiful state, beautiful city, questionable team. The quarterback's my height and still needs to get paid. And so $45 million, $25 million guaranteed. That's probably the difference. That was probably the hang up here for Devin Lloyd and the Bengals if the Bengals are truly interested. But my goodness, 3 for 45. I came into free agency saying I don't want to spend big on a linebacker if it gets in the way of a pass rusher.
Right.
But 3 for 45 is sort of tempting. It didn't happen. Just a few million over what they gave Bryan Cook. Devin Lloyd headed to Carolina. Your instant reaction.
This feels to me, and maybe I'm speaking it into existence. We saw the report of what John Franklin Myers signed for. JFM. And then not too long after, relatively speaking, Boye Mafe, I think we all saw the difference in the overall deals. And it's like, hey, that makes sense. I actually kind of like that, all things considered, when you look at things in the big picture. There could be a chance where you see Devin Lloyd's numbers and then maybe a Leo Chenal all of a sudden with the Bengals, 3 years in the 20s, low mid 20s, perhaps. I don't know. Just saying.
No, and I think that's where it would be. I actually text with a few people within the organization within the past few hours, and I mentioned Leo Chenal because that's who I would target. I would still stick to the plan. I'm surprised 3 for 45 seems pretty reasonable. I also understand you stick to the plan, and I also want an edge. Another edge, by the way. I also want a defensive tackle, preferably one that has some pass rush juice. And so I get it. And so you're right. Leo Chenal still out there. Makes a lot of sense to me that they would go after him. And I wouldn't be shocked at all if you heard, like, I think it was Pelissero. I've seen tweets. I haven't been able to. So full disclosure, it's not like I have, and I have a TV right here in my office, but it's not like I have NFL Network on and I'm listening to it the whole time. Like today I sat in this chair for like 3.5 hours until stuff happened. I still didn't move, and nothing actually happened. But
welcome to my everyday.
There's so many things that go on free agency, and you're preparing and you're thinking and you're talking and you're trying to get every little bit. We'll dive into the JFM stuff. But yeah, I look at this and I'm like, man, 3 for 45, wouldn't be mad at it because he's a really good player. I also understand that they have to fill a lot of spots. And so if you downgrade a little bit from Lloyd to Chenal from an overall talent standpoint, but it fits and allows you to get the edge rusher you need and the defensive tackle you need, well then fine, sign me up. But they're still missing 3 of the 5 that I wanted after Bryan Cook and Boye Mafe, but certainly a solid start so far for the Bengals.
By the way, I had this comment queued up before we saw the news break. Reports that the Bengals, Panthers, Saints are the final 3 teams in for Lloyd. That was something from Jeremy Fowler that I have yet to see evidence of. And I'm not saying that social media is just running with well, let's just call it a rumor, because I've seen news articles reference this, but it's coming from social who describes what they saw. I know it's neither here nor there at this point. This is the outcome. Devin Lloyd is not going to be a Cincinnati Bengal in 2026. I get it, but it caught my attention. It spread like wildfire. This Jeremy Fowler statement that apparently was said on some sort of television program, something on ESPN. And I've yet to see visual or audio evidence of it.
Yeah, well, it moves so quick, right? And it totally could have happened. So yeah, if you're just joining us and we have over 800 people live here on Cincinnati Bengals Talk, just 5 minutes in. Just 5 minutes in. Let's go. Let's get this up. Tell your friends. Let them know that we're here. Look, Devin Lloyd is off the table. He's agreed to a 3-year, $45 million deal with the Carolina Panthers. It is what it is. It's not. I don't think the Bengals plan A, and maybe I'm wrong on this. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it was JFM and Devin Lloyd and Cook and Bryan Cook. And like they were literally going to go best defensive tackle, best linebacker, best safety. Just doesn't seem likely that was their plan, right? And maybe they were like, all right, well, we can play in these waters because the linebacker prices are a little lower. And that was my initial thought is like Demario Davis was high in general, like 22 million over 2 years. But that's just because of his age. Like overall linebacker wise, you're like, okay, fine. Alex Anzalone was like 2 for 17, I believe it was with Tampa. And then you saw Devin Bush 3 for 30 with the Bears. And I was looking at it and I'm like, okay, like that's fine with me. I'm fine to be in this market. And that's when it started to get interesting with these linebackers. And the linebacker just momentum started to get going late in the afternoon. And then Devin Lloyd's still out there. The Bengals are mentioned and that's it. But like, I didn't come into today like Devin Lloyd. I would have certainly taken Cook. I certainly would have taken Boye Mafe over Devin Lloyd. Like if I had to rank them, I would have taken the best safety on the market. He was. And I would have taken, I would say the 4th best pass rusher. Is it 4? Trey? Yeah, 4th best edge rusher because you got Trey who's still out there. You have Jordan Phillips and who am I missing? Oh, and then Owe, Adafe Owe. So, yeah, those are the 3 that signed. And look, Jalen Phillips, by the way, not Jordan Phillips. It's been a long day. But point being, those were the 3. One. And then the 4th was Mafe. And so they got the 4th best edge rusher. They got the best safety. I'm okay if you get the 8th best linebacker on paper. If you get those other ones and fill out that way. So hopefully Chenal is on the phone right now. I just saw a comment. I hope you're right. Lloyd did sign. Lloyd has agreed to a 3-year, $45 million deal with the Carolina Panthers.
By the way, we are live, of course, and I did throw up a poll, and I will continue to do this throughout this live stream. Beginning with, and it's still out there. I'm going to leave it open for a little bit longer. I've got more that I want to get out there and get everyone's take on. But grading the Bryan Cook signing, so far 420 votes and counting. 81% gave it an A grade, 17% B, 1% C, and that's it so far.
Yeah, I'm not going to speak to the minority, but there's no scenario where it's an average free agent signing. He was the best safety on the market, and that's it. Best safety on the market. This is not, by the way, this is not the Bearcats orange and black or red and black glasses. How many times did I talk about Kobe Bryant, former Bearcat, who got a $40 million deal today? How many times did I talk about him on the channel?
Bearcats got paid.
They did. But I'm asking you, how many times?
Sure. You brought up Kobe Bryant a lot. Is that what you're asking me?
I didn't. You're not listening. You're reading.
I'm not, because I'm paying attention.
How many
to this
times
poll.
did you? Fine. We'll do it this way. Listen, stop looking at the chat.
I got you.
Keep going. Andrew can't read and listen. You got to learn to multitask.
I'm listening.
How many Kobe Bryant graphics did you put together this offseason?
Kobe Bryant graphics?
Correct. 0, because I didn't talk about him. You were trying to play it off. I haven't said.
I'm going to hold on.
Make me cuss. I haven't said anything about Kobe Bryant. Nothing. Do it.
You've mentioned him in passing, but yeah, a graphic.
Sure, as like an option, but not like, and that's my point is I'm not mentioning Cook because I thought, oh, he's a Bearcat, bring him home.
Yeah.
He's a hell of a fit. He tackles, he hits, he can play deep. He's got good ball skills. He's good in coverage. He was really, really good in coverage. My guy, Andrew Russell, Pro Football Focus, shout out to him. He's the #1 graphic designer on the planet for my money. Guess what he's got? He's got all these stats. I used them in an article today at bengalstalk.com about, it wasn't technically my article, but I added it to the article that Zach did. And it was a lot of metrics, which why don't I just pull them up, about him in coverage. And I was like, man, everyone's talking about Bryan Cook, the tackler, but look at all these metrics that show how good he was in coverage. And so I'm going to read those to you because he was a perfect fit in general. It wasn't the Bearcat stuff. Like that's part of the nice storyline
Mhm.
And hopefully he helps deliver a Super Bowl, because hell of a storyline. I would love it. But when I look at it, and we're about to cross that 1,000 live viewer threshold here on Cincinnati Bengals Talk. Welcome in. He's Andrew Fox Miller. I'm James Rapien. A special live edition here of CBT. And my guy, Andrew Russell, he was like, Cook was a Pro Football Focus secret superstar this season. Here's his percentile ranks. Higher is better in stable metrics. Coverage grade, 97th. Coverage grade with no pressure, 92nd. Coverage grade on the back end, 94th. Coverage grade in the slot, 92nd. Forced incompletion percentage, 91st. Boom. Boom. He's not just a great tackler, which he is. He only missed 5 tackles all season, 11 over the past 2 seasons. Geno Stone's missed 11 tackles in the 11 minutes we've been live. And so a huge upgrade there. But everyone's talking about that. This guy's really good in coverage as a back-end safety as well, Andrew.
No, I totally get it. And it begs the question at this point. Actually, let's take a step back. I know what you predicted the Bengals would do. I know what you wanted the Bengals to do. Wasn't necessarily predicting, but if you were in charge, if you had the keys, so on and so forth, what you would do. End of day one, legal tampering, day one. Is this the outcome that you would have anticipated? Speaking of how much you talked about Bryan Cook, you just had me thinking about that.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
Not specifically, so. Obviously, not player for player, but just kind of.
No, I mean, I really thought they were going to sign. It just made too much sense. Like everything about it made too much sense. Now, the only way I would have been like, I get why they didn't sign him is if his market was just like 18 to 20 million. Like if it was just on a whole nother level. But like,
yeah,
when I look at it and I see like all the stuff that I mentioned like the downtown Cincinnati skyline in his Twitter profile, all that stuff is just extra. The fact that he was a Bearcat, the fact that he went to Mount Healthy, but you just look at the player: size, physical, smart, Spagnuolo defense, doesn't miss tackles. I mentioned all that coverage stuff, which I'm not even going to pretend like I was paying attention to those PFF metrics specifically, but I do know he's good in coverage. And so you just tie it all together. It makes a ton of sense. He's an ascending player. He'll be 27 this season. Like, that's what you want. That's what you need. Go get a quality safety. They've been nickel and diamond. Everybody knows. Everybody in the chat. We have over 1,100 people in the chat right now. Andrew, you know someone like this. I know someone like this. I know, especially in college, I know a bunch of people like this. You know the person that gets the really, really cheap car because they get the good deal on the cheap car?
Yeah, and then like Alfred Morris. And
then the car
breaks
reference. Down. Oh, yeah, that's right. And then the car breaks down 2 weeks later.
Yeah.
My guy, Alfonso, bought a $500 car in college, and it broke down on the way home. Why? That's what the Bengals have been doing at safety. Oh, we could get this Geno Stone guy. He picked off Joe Burrow one time. Yeah, but he can't tackle. He's actually not that much of a ball hawk. He was just on a really, really good defense. And yeah, can he be the 11th best player on a really, really good defense? Sure. But is that what you are? No. Is that what you need? No. You needed someone that could come in, be a leader, and be a real piece. And if you're buying a car, you know what you need? A real piece that's going to get you to A to B. You need some reliability, and they didn't have that with Nick Scott, and they certainly didn't have that with Geno Stone. You go out, you get yourself a nice lease for 3 years. Suddenly it feels much different. It feels a little more stable. You don't have to worry about getting to work every single day. In Al Golden on the back end, I think that's what he's going to say. I think if you gave Lou Anarumo truth serum, he'd say, yeah, it's really tough on the back end when you can't trust who's back there. And I think Bryan Cook is a guy you can trust. And that's a big, big factor here when it comes to tackling, when it comes to coverage, when it comes to trusting him doing what he needs to do to keep the Bengals defense where they need to be.
I was going to really start to pick apart the analogy. It's not
bad. It was a Plymouth Laser that he bought for $500. A Plymouth Laser.
Yeah.
And within like a week of getting it, he was going to sue the guy who sold it to him. Obviously that didn't work out. And then he was going to drop an engine into it. It doesn't matter how many engines you drop into Geno Stone, he will still shoulder tackle and not be able to bring a guy down. Man, Geno Stone's going to hate me because I've been as critical as anybody has of his play, but it's true.
You could play that analogy all day. You could You could sit here and be like, oh yeah, they
Don't
were
pick it
going
apart.
for stuff that, oh, you can't repair. You can repair this with aftermarket, no problem. No, we need something with
Oh, yeah.
OEM and so on and so forth. But
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
I get where you're going with on this one.
You wouldn't be worried about OEM if you saw this car.
No,
This guy. Anyways, but
you don't think someone's out there
right?
restoring that car to this day? Maybe just found a gem.
It's restoring in Coleraine at the Rumpke dump. Probably that's where it's restoring itself at. We just got to 1,200 people live. If you're just joining us, this is Cincinnati Bengals Talk. He's Andrew Fox Miller. I'm James Rapien. We're reacting to day one of Bengals negotiating window. I almost said free agency. Obviously, it is free agency. None of the deals will be signed until later this week. We will hear from Cincinnati native Bryan Cook. We will hear from Boye Mafe. We will have those right here on the channel and video. But man, oh man, is it it's successful day one overall. I know you mentioned the grades. Revisit that poll question here for a second.
Regarding the poll question specific to Bryan Cook, 81%, I closed it out after 512 votes. 81% gave it an A grade, 17% gave it a B grade here in the live chat as we are live. For those, because I'm probably going to post the audio of this, James. That's why I'm kind of adding a little bit
you should definitely post the audio
track to this. 2% C, nobody gave it a D or F grade. Great. Now, I did put the Boye Mafe signing up next. We have 340 votes currently and counting.
Yep.
A little bit, I won't say mix. It's still an A-B grade, but 41% gave it an A grade, 56% gave it a B grade, and then 3% C, 1% D, F. So, and by the way, whoever gave DF and any of these, feel free to leave comments. I'll try to track you down and see where you're coming from that, or if you're just clicking things and you made a mistake or you forget how letter grades work, whatever the case may be. But Boye Mafe, more heavily concentrated on B, certainly not far behind with an A grade.
All right. So what were the Fs? Well, you just give me the F right now, the DF.
1% out of 385 votes right now.
So there's going to be someone in your life that brings this up. It might be this weekend. It might be next weekend. It might be after Mafe talks, and it's going to be like, man, that guy had 2 sacks. You gave him $20 million.
Oh, right.
$20 million a year, 2 sacks.
Yeah.
And look, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. It's a lot of money. Here's what I would say. How you're used is everything. And Mafe was just kind of buried in how he was used and what he was asked and his responsibilities. Not that they weren't to get after the passer. I get it. You're like, well, of course. But his responsibilities in that defense, it was a tad different when Mike McDonald got there versus where it was a few years ago when he was 25 years old, had 9 sacks, 16 quarterback hits, and was a guy that seemed like he was going to be a star. Past couple of years, that's throttled down a bit. If you look this year, he still had a bunch of pressures, a bunch of hurries, was getting a lot of the advanced metrics, pass rush win rate. If you look at ESPN stats and info, he was 8th among edge rushers. So the Bengals are looking at it's kind of ironic, man, because you go back 5 years ago, and the reason why they loved Trey was because Trey got sacks. And what they are forced to pivot in this scenario is the opposite. It's like Mafe didn't have the sack production this past year, but he clearly has the juice. And you look it up, man, the guy runs a 4.5, 340, can jump out of the gym, can dunk sitting down, is just a really explosive athlete that can play all 3 downs, can stop the run, which I think is a very big thing. Came at a reasonable cost when you look at that Jalen Phillips deal, 4 years, 120. Like, that's wild to me. And so you get him 3 for $60, and then Owe signed for a $25 million per over 4 with $60+ million guaranteed. And so the Bengals were able to stick to their level of contract, which with both of these guys was high salaries in the first calendar year of the deal. And in Cook's case, he's going to see all 3 years of that deal, which it's great. Like, the way it's structured, he's going to see all 3 years. It's a low cap hit this year. But yeah, for Mafe, I think it makes a ton of sense. They're not breaking the bank. They're getting a 27-year-old ascending player that can play on all 3 downs. Yeah, the sack production isn't there, but all these other metrics are telling you, and you need to trust them. Duke Tobin gets made fun of because he's like, oh, well, height is an analytic, and this is an analytic. And he's playing dumb. They look at the analytics. They look at all those different advanced metrics because they matter, especially when you're judging pass rushers, especially when you're judging pass rushers on really good defenses. And so should Mafe come in and make an impact? I expect him to. I really like this addition, especially when you consider what Phillips went for, what some of these guys were going for. And given where you were at, you needed to get one of these bigger higher ceiling players, and Mafe's it. Like if you tell me Mafe is the best pass rusher out of or defensive end, however you want to put it, out of Owe, Phillips, and Mafe, like that wouldn't be a shock, and they got him at a better value. And so I totally get it, especially when they have the holes they have.
I think people will be looking back on it in terms of how all these deals land in the overall market in the days and weeks to come, but also any potential additional signings that the Bengals have. I mean, this could pave the way for another deal that if you start looking at the numbers or you start looking at the roster construction, you're like, ooh, the fact that they did it with this player in Mafe and they, added the pieces that they did beyond today, of course, the bigger picture, that's where you kind of make the more final grade, we'll call it educated grade, I suppose. But as of today, I think it's fair what people are saying overall. If I were to pose this question, and I'll put this poll on here and I'll announce where we're at with it because I did close out the Boye Mafe poll. I'm going to ask the question of what position on defense specifically, and we'll do offense in a bit, do you want the Bengals to target next in free agency? And for what it's worth on YouTube Live, you get 4 options. I'm thinking defensive tackle, linebacker, edge, cornerback instead of just saying DB. Is that fair, or do you want me to mix any of that up?
I would do those 3 plus. I mean, you could do corner. That's fine. I mean,
yeah.
After that, it should be tight end. It should be.
Well, I'm offense. I'm talking defense first, though.
I know. I just mean overall priority. Like if you sign 5 starter level free agents on defense, well, sheesh.
Like, So the question is, what position on defense do you want the Bengals to target?
Depth corner would probably be it, right? Probably. Now, if they don't re-sign Tycen Anderson, then that's a whole nother question about. And I saw that. I'll answer it. I'm not in a minute, but.
I'll put defensive back.
Yeah, I was like, because then you probably would want a safety. I don't feel great about the safeties after Tycen, but PJ Jules maybe, Dejan maybe. It's just we haven't seen them in that role. It's more of a. I haven't seen much of Dejan at all, to be honest with you. And PJ Jules mostly special teams.
A couple of other comments, chats I do want to bring up.
Yeah,
let's start here. A couple super chats here. In there, James.
Michael,
I'm not sure. Michael Rolfe says, I am not sure what they are saying in high school these days. My oldest is 7. She will never date. Speaking of dates, if more isn't done, okay. So the question is, what is the date Bengals fans lose it collectively if more isn't done from here on out? At what point do you reach the breaking point, the crash out point? I felt like we were already at it almost today from what I was just seeing the people stirring on social media after just like a few hours.
It'd happen fast. It would happen. I mean, if we're here live for Enter the Jungle tomorrow at 8, we're going to be live all week. We're going to go live tomorrow around 8 for Enter the Jungle. Maybe it's later if we feel like something's imminent and we don't want to go live and do the show and then something happens.
Maybe if we feel something's imminent, we do members only and then go public live. We'll see.
Look at you. You just
he always little plug.
Yeah, little something. Yeah, obviously all 1,300 plus of you should become a member of Cincinnati Bengals Talk because you've gotten nuggets. Our members have gotten nuggets. They knew about Reisner ahead of everybody else. They knew that deal was likely getting done and some other things too. So obviously we would love for you to be a member and be part of the channel and support in that way. That being said, we're going to be live all week and it's going to be interesting to see how, and thanks for the super chat. That was really, really generous of you. How patient they are. I keep coming back to this, and this was something I did do for members. Like, I know they know. Like, I know they know that they have to add significant talent. And like that Jamar crash out that you saw on social media, I thought that was fake over the weekend, Andrew. And I'm gonna give her credit because our girl Kelly Rippin at WLWT, she messaged me and she said, "Hey, I think this Jamar thing is real." And I was like, "Really?" And so I looked up his Twitch.
Yeah.
And it's real. And he's crashing out. And guess what? I don't blame him because they need defense, and he's the best receiver on the planet, and he feels like he has the best quarterback on the planet, and they need defense. And I'm not saying they should have given up 2-1s for Max Crosby, but I understand as a player, you're like, hey, can we get some help? And so that's how I know they know, is because the players are reaching their breaking point. I think the coaches at one point last year were like, well, what the do you want me to do? You got me Oren Burks and TJ Slayton in free agency. Now, did they come out and say that? No, but it's pretty freaking obvious. We can all see it. They needed more talent. They needed stabilizing pieces. They needed championship presence. It's going to be a big narrative. As Mafe is a Super Bowl champ, you know, you have Cook, who's a 2-time Super Bowl champ. You got 3 rings walking in. You're going to hear that a lot. I promise that's going to be a big narrative over the next week, 2 weeks. Certainly when they talk later this week at Paycor Stadium. And so when's the crash out point? I think that fans by tomorrow night, if nothing else happens, especially if a couple guys get signed, Reader signs.
That's the biggest thing. You see those names coming off the board, so to speak.
Ebikadi signs. You see Chenal sign. Like if those 3, like if we wake up and those 3 sign and it's like noon, it's gonna be like, oh shoot. So I think it could happen tomorrow. Like I don't even think because at first my initial thought was like Wednesday is when it would happen. Nah, it could easily happen tomorrow, where it's like that's not enough because they need so much. Like it's really hard to go into free agency and say you need 5 starting level players. And the Bengals may push back on that a little bit. I think the real honest personnel, the real honest people in the building would not push back. I think they'd say, James, you're right. We lost Osai. You replace him with Mafe. You lose Hendrickson. You got to replace him with someone. And you need more defensive tackle juice. Obviously, they need a linebacker. They've admitted that. And they needed a safety. They got one. So,
by the way, we have a comment from Michael Rolfe, also a member. So not only a super chat, you didn't need to do that, Michael, but we totally appreciate it. Speaking of Boye Mafe and talking about his sack count from 2025, here's the difference. People are scarred by Shamar Stewart, he says. He will be fine. Boye Mafe will be fine. He's done it in the NFL. Pressures are there even more than Trey when he signed, presumably with the Bengals is what he's referring to. I'm pumped with this signing, says Michael.
Do me a favor. Leave that up.
Yep.
I want you to do me a favor. Get that member link and put it in the chat for people,
that's fine.
So they can become a member while I answer this. I totally agree with that. I think when you see the lack of production, it's scary, but you're right. And it's a good point. He had 9 sacks in the NFL. Like Mafe is better than Joseph Osai. I'm way more excited about his ceiling than Joseph Osai's. That's why I was kind of out. And it's nothing really against Joseph. Like I think he's fine, but it's just time. Like if you're moving on from Trey, you damn sure should be moving on from Osai. Like you gave Osai that 1-year prove it deal. You wanted to see if he had some juice. Well, guess what? Now you have these other question marks. Shamar Stewart, Myles Murphy. Will Myles take another step? Obviously, he looks like a productive pass rusher, right? And really productive defensive end. I think that Mafe and Myles are your favorites to start there. But then you have Stewart, and you need Stewart to blossom. You need Stewart to take a step, 2 steps, 3 steps this year. And so for Mafe, I agree. I just like it for a bunch of reasons. And there's reason to believe that worst case, he's a solid defensive end for you. And that ceiling is pretty darn high. So he raises your floor because I think his floor is higher than Osai's. And there's upside there, untapped upside that for whatever reason was throttled down in Seattle over the past couple of years. And there's a decent chance that they get it out of him because if it's in there, they're going to need it. They're going to have to do whatever it takes to get it out of him because they're really banking on him to take another step.
No doubt. I'm getting that link. Oh, yeah, I'm getting that link up now, and you're going to love this. As I was trying to put that together, I accidentally signed out of YouTube in my Google account. So,
oh my gosh, it shouldn't be that hard. I feel like finding the member link is.
I found the link. I've just got to pin it and post it.
Oh, you're going in the other way. Okay, I was just going to post it right in here. Okay.
Oh,
by the way, we just if you're new here, and we got 1,400 people in the. Watching us live at the moment. Welcome in. We just crossed 64,000 subscribers here on Cincinnati Bengals Talk. This is the place to be. If you're a Bengals fan and you like YouTube and you like commenting and you're looking for a community and all of those, this is the place. Because it's not just free agency. We do this in season. We do this out of season. We do this in May. We do this in August. We do this in December. It doesn't matter. We're here for you. and 64,000. How about that? We just crossed over 100 members, by the way. So please join. We got to get those memberships up. We're going to start to push. I told Andrew the other day, we started that right before Joe got hurt because we
September.
Great timing.
Yeah, like beginning of September.
Right before Joe got hurt. Oh, let's start it with the season. Yeah, be a member. Joe hurt, and so really good timing there. But I was like, yeah, I haven't pushed that enough. Like, we're time to push it. So yeah, we would love for you to join us. But yeah,
By the way, this is just to cut you off here. That Joe just joined as a VIP.
Look at Joe. Boom.
So yeah, appreciate it.
Appreciate you, Joe. You're the man. Joe's a good name. Joe's a good name. We're big fans of the Joe. Hoping Joe Flacco comes back, by the way.
Yeah, that's right.
Flacco. There's a little. Do you have that pinned anywhere? Are you going to ask me a Joe Flacco question, or can I just talk about it right now? I don't need you to pick one.
What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
Do you have a Joe Flacco question starred? Should I hold my 10 seconds?
I see. Good question. No, I do not at the moment.
Okay,
I'm
perfect.
sure it's coming.
I'm going to talk about Joe Flacco for a minute. No, it's okay. Talk about Joe Flacco for a minute. There's a decent chance he comes back. You want to know why? I think Kyler goes to Minnesota. Daniel Jones is somehow got the Colts convinced that they need to pay him big money coming off of an Achilles, which I would hate. Oh my God. They start out so great last year, and now it's a rough situation. But I look at it, Atlanta, that backup job is filled with Tua. They wanted a lefty. And that's the Kevin Stefanski destination that I thought maybe Flacco would go to. Miami, they go get Malik Willis. And I was like, oh, well, Flacco would love to be in Miami and just kind of sling it around on a bad team for a bit, throw it to Jalen Waddle, maybe Darren Waller. I'm looking around. I'm like, all right. Like, if he's going to be a backup, it'll be in Cincinnati. And so today was a good day for the Joe Flacco come back, stay here, sling it around and be a backup and be Joe's backup. So yeah, there's a chance. There's at least a chance that Joe Flacco returns. He also may sign with the Raiders tomorrow, and they may say, hey, you could compete with Mendoza for the starting job. Don't do that, Joe. Don't go to Vegas. Don't go to Vegas. That's silly. And don't go to the Jets either. You've already done that a couple times. They booed you at a Bengals-Jets game that I was at. Don't go back there.
By the way, speaking of polls, I closed out the one on defense. What position on defense do you want the Bengals to target? Again, we're talking defense. I'm about to post one on offense. Next in free agency, 50% say linebacker, 41% say defensive tackle, 5% say DB, and 4% want some edge depth. Or perhaps, yeah.
That's crazy. Then everybody believes in Shamar Stewart.
Oh, don't get all mad. What, are you going to run them out of here? Get out of here.
No, I'm not running anyone out of here. I just, what the hell? Have we not watched? Everyone's whining and moaning about Trey. Like, yeah, you need more edge. Edge was their biggest need coming into today. By far their biggest need. Mafe helps. That can't be it. That's your Osai replacement. Like, come on. Like, you still need one.
Doesn't mean it's the one that they want the most. It's just the next logical one. That doesn't mean they won't sign an edge. I'm already getting in their head. You're like sitting there going, hey guys, wish you could be a member. That'd be so great. What's wrong with you people?
No, edge is huge. 4% edge corner. There's no corner on the market right now. None that are more valuable than Jadeveon Clowney would be for this team. None. I don't even need to look. No. More valuable for this team. Nope. Don't care. Corner. Nope. It's a good corner draft. Learn to speak DB in round 2, baby. Pick 72, round 3, DB. Come on. Mm-hmm. Get me fired up. I can't believe
that. Hey, that poll's closed. We're going to move on. We're going to move. You need to forget about that poll. I'm going to keep that. I'm going to archive that. That's a data point for me, but you need to just forget that ever happened. Gosh. I do have the offense up, and for what it's worth.
Tobin voice. It's an analytic. Yeah.
It's
jeez.
Yeah.
It's a spam-alytic. You're spamming me. DB.
It's a force multiplier, James, that poll. Don't worry.
I'll play DB if they actually have Jadeveon Clowney.
Oh, get out of here with I'll play DB. Get out of here.
My goodness gracious.
Sign my God. James Chenal over there is playing linebacker now. So,
dude, I'm getting close.
Just to kind of preview it, we'll see if it moves much, but I do have next. What position on offense would you want the Bengals to address in free agency most? Not next. Which one would you want the Bengals to address in free agency most? And currently, out of 247 votes and counting, O-line leads the way. I kept it at O-line. I only get 4 options here. O-line leads the way at 53%. Second is tight end at 28%, wide receiver at 10%, running back at 9%. Yeah. Those numbers will change. We'll check back in on that in a bit.
Yeah, it should be tight end. But yeah, I got you. Obviously, swing tackle is important. I would be open to that. There aren't many out there. There's not many options, man. And that's hard to come by. So yeah, I would tight end, David Njoku.
Hayden Hurst retired.
David Njoku. You want to talk about a dude that he'd have like 12 touchdowns because they'd have to put little linebackers on him. He'd be dunking on him. He'd be dunking on him because T. Higgins is commanding doubles in the red zone. You got Jamar, and Joe would just the flick of the wrist to Njoku. Bam. David Njoku.
We're going to get to a few more comments, questions. I do think these sort of naturally lead in through some talking points that we had planned anyway. So great job, chat. This is great.
David, 1 year, $5 million. Take it.
Get off of David Njoku.
You'll get paid next year.
I'm going to create a poll about you in this. Okay.
Super Bowl champ.
Okay.
Super Bowl champ. 12 touchdowns. You'd be a borderline all-pro. You'd lead the league among tight ends and touchdown receptions by 5.
Okay. Here's the deal.
Yeah.
Dream scenario, but you cannot split these. It's one package. David Njoku goes to the Bengals.
Yeah.
But you also are a mandatory requirement at DB on the team on the 53-man roster for the entire season. Do you take that?
I am?
Yes.
Do I get paid?
No, I'm not talking about benefits. Like you're obviously going to be a problem. Like you're going to be, you're eating up a roster spot. They're never going to put you out on the field. You're going to either die or I don't know what's going to happen. But you're going to think that you can cover somebody.
You're right. Do I get the salary?
Yeah, no, forget the salary part. I'm just saying as someone covering the Bengals, they have to have James Rapien on the roster in the 53-man, but they get David Njoku. Now are you
I would.
Tune? What do we?
No, I would do it. I mean, I would do it. I would just do it. They called right now. I would just do it.
I'm doing the wrong polls, I guess is what the lesson learned is here.
I would just do it. I don't know what you I mean, I would want a little money, but yes, I would just do it. Hey, come be a member and step inside the Bengals locker room. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I would just I just want to film you getting like cooked on the field. That would be my dream.
I mean, I would get cooked, obviously.
I know. Speaking of someone that overvalues himself,
I wouldn't get cooked of any of the 1,400 in here, though.
Speaking of someone that overvalues himself, Logan chimes in on a very important topic. What's going on with Trey Hendrickson? And specifically says, do you think Trey's agent overvalued him?
Logan Wilson, AM 8566. You're not hiding. Come on, Logan.
Get out of here.
Come on, Logan. Come on. Ain't hiding from that. No, I'm just kidding. Do I think Trey's agent overvalued him? My observations of Trey's agent are certainly, I'm curious. I'm curious how Jalen Phillips can get all this money. Look at Jalen Phillips' stats, look at his injury history, look at all those things. That age is an age thing. But if Trey comes in and it's a low number, maybe it's not. Maybe the Cowboys and the Buccaneers and the Jaguars are competing and the Raiders are competing. Like, you don't know. Like, it could be the opposite. Like, I know it's quiet, so it feels like, oh, well, no one's interested. It could very well be the opposite. And I was hoping we would get Trey news. I haven't looked at Twitter in a while. I think the chat would have erupted. But I was hoping we would get Trey news while we were here because 5 years ago, that's what happened, is it was late night. Not when that happened. But, yeah, we haven't. Yeah, we haven't. So, yeah, it's
I feel like he's had a year more than a year, but I feel like they've played this game a little bit as far as testing out the market. It's not like they're coming in cold.
Yeah. I assume he wants that 30 million number, right?
Yeah.
And either he doesn't have it or he's got multiple people around it. And I've tried to look into it. I tried to look into it this morning just to see. And no luck. No luck. Can't hurt to try this time of year. Usually you get cold. Because I'm not like hitting up the agents and stuff like these national people where I do it in other ways. So it's it's interesting. I don't have the answer. What I do know is if Trey signs some mid-20s deal, that's way better than the Phillips deal. And so we'll see. I still think he can play. I think he's going to age pretty well. I think last year, when you look at it, he was effective when he was out there. And I don't know why there wouldn't be teams. I still think I come back to the Bucks and the Jags. Like, I just think one of those Florida teams, they're going to find a way to get him paid and,
He would
and
love
happy.
that.
And dude, who wouldn't? Who wouldn't?
Well,
love
yeah,
that?
of course. But
I mean,
speaking of defensive linemen, this is coming up time and time again in the chat, and I think it's an important topic. And I'm gonna single out Bearcats by 90, just because the Bearcats connection there, but not with DJ Reader, with me and James as well. So DJ Reader reunion, yay or nay? What do you think? What do you now? Let's go with what do you want, and do you think the let's roughly gauge the likelihood at this stage after day one of free agency.
I'm tweeting that I'm talking about DJ Reader now to see what we can do. We're at
You mentioned
1,400 or so. Yeah, talking DJ Reader now.
Tell him get on here. I'm sure.
No, I didn't.
Perfect time.
Tag him.
Agent
I'm not
would
gonna
love it.
tag him. No, I would love for him to come on. Here's the problem. I wouldn't cut Slayton. I think Slayton's a good player, and I like good players. I'm also interested in DJ Reader. Why? I like good players. It's not a perfect fit because now you're talking about two nose tackles. But do I think DJ Reader has enough pass rush juice still to give you something there? I do. Do I think in this division and really in general in today's NFL, you have to just be able to stop the run with 4? I do. Reader, Slayton, Mafe, and the high, whether it's Miles, whether it's Shamar, whether it's Cedric Johnson, a draft pick, however you want to say it, is that enough to get juice on just a normal down? Like I do wonder, does BJ Hill have enough as a pass rusher if he moves more into that 3 technique role, which he would if Reader was signed, to give you something there? Because I think BJ Hill should still stay around. I know some are like, oh, well, Slayton or Hill. No, I think both of them have earned it. Does Chris Jenkins have a little more in his bag that we haven't seen? Those are the questions I would be asking when it comes to DJ Reader's fit. But do I like those problems? And do I look at it and say, DJ Reader, TJ Slayton, DJ and TJ, good luck? Yes. Do I think from a leadership standpoint on defense, if you have DJ, TJ, BJ, tongue twister, Dan Horde, good luck, that's a good place to be? I do. And so would I be in? Ding, ding, ding. I would be in. Now, it doesn't mean he would be my next target in the defensive line room. I think Logan Hall is a better fit overall. He gives you that 3 technique presence that you need, some juice as a pass rusher. You can leave what you have there. But am I open to DJ Reader? I am. And it would be up to BJ to kind of change his role a little bit. Maybe you're thinking like in 2021, the Larry Ogunjobi role, he's more of that. But between that and DJ and maybe a draft pick, like, yeah, you might have enough juice there. So yes, I'm open to it. Money would have to make sense, but they never should have let DJ Reader walk anyway. And they could right that wrong, and you could figure out who's where and all of those things.
Clowney or Reader? You got to choose right now.
Clowney.
JBL 104 with the comment here that brought up
Clowney.
that question.
It's
I figured you would
Jadeveon
say
Clowney.
Clowney.
And here's why. 1, it fits. 2, he's good. Clowney is good. He's good against the run. He gets after. He's not as good of a pass rusher as people thought he would be coming out. But guess what? He's a good enough pass rusher. And he's really good against the run. He knows the division, and he's a pain in the butt to deal with. And he's coming off of a really good year with Dallas. He's going to cost a little more than Reader. But would I take Jadeveon Clowney? Yeah, I would take Jadeveon Clowney, because now you don't need an edge in the draft. You could still take one. You could take Ruben Bain in round 1, or TJ Parker in round 2, or David Bailey in round 1 if somehow he fell, which I don't think he's going to fall out of the top 5. And you could play a game Sunday with Jadeveon Clowney on one side, Boye Mafe on the other, Miles Murphy, Shamar Stewart. Suddenly you have a rotation of 4 guys that are either the 17th pick, the 28th pick, the 1st overall pick, or the 40th overall pick, and making $20 million per year. Like, all of those guys have juice. All of those guys can hold up against the run. All of those guys can play all 3 downs, and you can have those waves you're talking about. Like, it makes so much sense, and it's not going to cost a lot. It's going to cost you $7 million a year. You could probably get him for 2 for 14 right now. Like, hell yeah, I'm in on Jadeveon Clowney. So I like Reader a lot. One shouldn't cancel out the other, by the way. You want to talk about how you really fix your front. You sign Reader and Clowney, I'm good. It'll be good. You could find ways to get pressure because you're going to be really good against the run. And if you don't have enough juice, you can find a way to bring one of these guys off the edge, blitz, all of those things. Who knows? Maybe it's Caleb Downs that's going to give you some of that juice with the 10th pick. So, yeah, I very much in on Clowney, the player. Very much in on DJ Reader in that scenario. Give me both of those. You want to talk about a way to really get me excited. Spend $12 million in cap space on those two guys on 1-year deals, which should probably be something like that. Go do it.
We have a number. Like I don't know that I can overstate this. We have a lot of really good comments and questions. And not just that, people that are sending in super chats, very generous, but like they're good super chats. These are all things that I want. It's keeping the conversation moving. So really,
I'm not seeing them all. They're all right levels. Here to me.
I know. I got you covered.
I'm trying to give people an idea. They're all here to me. And so if I look here, that's where Andrew is. When I plug like our latest topic on X, I'm looking down right here. And
this is working out really well for the audio version of this when I cut it up. I appreciate it. It's going to be
audio version. I'm looking to my left and I'm looking down when
I need you to paint a better picture. Yeah. Theater of the mind, James. Theater of the mind. So listen, and by the way, plug that we have this. I plan on putting this audio version of this up if you want to re-listen to it later. There are comments and questions here that I might get to. I don't even know if the people are still in the room. That's how many I've queued up. So let's begin with, do you want a fun one or like an interesting thought? Let's think this through one.
Fun one. Let's go
with a fun one. All right. Michael Ruff again. Appreciate
my
you.
Man.
I have a very serious question. Michael says, which is more likely, Joe Burrow dates Jessica Alba, or 2, the Bengals fan base is universally happy with free agency? Which of those two things is more likely?
More likely.
Does Jessica Alba have a boyfriend? I think I saw a headline that he commented on something.
I tweeted
I tried not to get too in the weeds with that.
I tweeted the image. Yeah, I tweeted the image of her and her boyfriend.
Okay. I mean, that weighs into the decision here.
I think the universally happy because you can't make everyone happy. Jessica Alba is just a human, right? So like, I know she's really famous, but like if you're Joe Burrow, anyone is gettable. Oh, like okay. I think the average guy should think anybody's gettable. Travis Kelce felt that way and he got Taylor Swift, who's the biggest star on the planet. And it's just Travis Kelce, but now it's Travis Kelce, right? It's changed. And so I mean, could Joe Burrow get Jessica Alba? Of course. Like that's
I mean, Joe Burrow could get you, I'm sure, James. Look, do we take it literally with the universal? I don't. Do we think general consensus is people are happy? That's how I look at this, by the way, just for how I would weigh this. And I'm going with number 2. I think that's a free agency. I don't know about this one. More likely, we're trending in the right direction.
Now
maybe it is this
picking
one.
A different year.
I'm just saying. Maybe this question just confused me all of a sudden. I thought it was very simple, but
it is simple.
Okay.
Could Joe Burrow date Jessica Alba?
What's more likely?
Yes, Joe Burrow one human dating another versus this. How many times have the Bengals been universally praised for their free agent haul in team history? Even in 2021, there were a lot of questions with Trey Hendrickson. Oh, should we have let Carl Lawson go? Is Trey a one-hit wonder? Like, think about that. Did they pay him too much? Like that was a real thing.
No.
Just saying. Like it's hard to please everyone during free agency. You just got to do more than sign TJ Slayton and Oren Burks like they did last year.
But I'm just saying, maybe I'm way off here, but this is a fan base that got collectively like just unhinged with excitement over La'el Collins being at Kenwood Mall. You know what I mean? Like I think like you could. And I know, looking at it in hindsight, and after it's all said and done, will they be having free agent? I think.
God,
it
was 2 months after they just watched their quarterback get hit and almost die at the hands of Aaron Donald in the biggest game of their lives. Like, what do you mean? Like, of course they were freaking out about La'el Collins, who they thought was the answer. Like, yes, things have changed. That was years ago. Right. Jessica Alba had just turned 40 then.
Jessica Alba. Jessica Alba could be Joe's mom, I think. If I have to do the math here, but I think she could. Yeah, I think she
15, could. Sure, not realistically.
Okay, plenty of people have mothers that had them when they're in their teen years.
Okay, so could.
This has gone way too long.
You're killing me, bro.
I'm killing you.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. All right. By the way, Dre
Also,
Greenlaw
Joe's
has
not
come up a
dating-
lot. I'm going to get more serious here for a moment. We've got more
Joe
fun
is
ones.
not dating Jessica Alba. Go.
Okay, yeah, just to be clear. Although, I hope you're the one that has to like break that. That would just look. Oh, that'd be so good.
He can't do. You got to get a ring first. You can't do.
Oh, you're talking about a Super Bowl ring.
Yes, you got. Yeah, not a proposal.
You see how confused I am at this point with
There's
all
only
of this.
one ring that should matter in Joe Burrow's life, and I actually think there is only one ring that matters in Joe Burrow's life, and I think he would tell you that it's a Super Bowl ring. Go ahead.
Oh wait, by the way, there you go. Jessica Alba's 44 years old. Joe's what, 29? Okay, so there you go. Yeah. All right, there you go.
I just said 15. I knew her age, and she was 40 when Lyle Collins was at Kenwood Mall.
I understand how the math worked. I just thought you were roughly assuming that. Okay, never mind. We've enough on this. A lot of Dre Greenlaw talk.
Yeah.
If not Leo Chenal, if not Leo Chenal, like Dre Greenlaw, where do we sit with him being out there?
I mean, the PFF numbers still look good, right? Really good in run defense. Someone overall grade was good. You look at 2024 was really good. I assume it was just straight contract. Why he was released. I need to look here and see what.
Yeah, I wondered that too, and didn't dig into it.
3 years, $31 million. Okay, Spotrac wants me to sign up. All right, let's see. What did they save? 4.3 million in dead money, 6 million in salary cap space. Okay. He had a quad injury, and then he had a suspension, and then he had a hamstring. So he missed 7 games. I mean, honestly, yeah, I'm interested in Dre Greenlaw. What's the cost? Do they think he can give them what they're looking for from a pass rush on the edge standpoint? But yes, I am. Obviously, it always comes down to dollars and cents, but like injuries happen, linebacker injuries happen. Like that's fine. Like it's just part of it. And I think he's still a good player. He just had a couple of injuries last year. So yeah, I would be open to it, but he wouldn't be next on my list. Like Dre Greenlaw is a guy that Thursday, when we're talking to Bryan Cook, it's like, oh, Dre Greenlaw's in town and they're going to go to Ruby's with Joe Burrow and Al Golden and Barrett Carter, Demetrius Snyder, whoever it would be. I'm sure another linebacker would be going on that trip. So that would be kind of the thing. I think he would be the next wave, and maybe not. Maybe the NFL views him differently, but yeah, I think he would help for sure.
By the way, Landon's in here giving us super chats. Landon, appreciate it.
Yeah, Landon, what are you doing?
Don't need to multiples here. But by the way, give me the J Trench, BJ, yeah. TJ Slayton, DJ Reader. There you go,
dude. It's a lot of fun, man. Just put them there, and that's it.
Hey, if that happens, then that might be the one time that I actually do like. It's a good idea, Landon. I'm taking that. I'll give you your super chat back. I'm going to take that and make a shirt out of it if it happens for our merch, because we've never done anything beyond our logo. Getting that out there. Let's see here. No, Landon, stop. Don't get James started. People are already complaining we're not talking about enough football here. Landon says, real question should be, when is Joe dating Sabrina Carpenter? Okay. All right.
She's 26.
Don't do it.
She's short, though. She's
quiet now.
I doubt he'd be. I mean, I guess. I mean, how tall is like the...
I'm looking for the next question. I'm not letting James go on for too long on this.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I think she might be too short.
By the way, you did talk about this earlier, and JB too. Appreciate your comment. This was early. I've been sitting on this for a bit, and I know this is your guy, Tycen Anderson, James.
This is my guy.
Any news on Tycen Anderson, he asks?
I think there are certainly people in the building that want Tycen back. He's weighing his options. Obviously, he's not necessarily one of those, day one guys. I think he has some offers. I think they're weighing it right now and going to make a decision. Maybe they're waiting to see what the Bengals come back with. This is classic Bengals where they're like, yeah, we want you. And I'm sure they gave him an offer that's pretty standard. But test the market. Let us know what you have, and then we'll see what we can do. And like that's pretty standard for like someone of Tyson's.
By the way,
no, that's pretty standard for someone of Tyson's pedigree. And so this just takes a day or two. But like I said, like it's pretty clear. I think you could decipher who I'm saying wants him when they want him. But I think there are fans of him in the building that want him back. And he's certainly looking for a multi-year deal. And we'll see if he gets it. But big Tycen Anderson fan. I think he's a good locker room guy. I think he can help on defense, even though they don't clearly by their actions because they put Geno Stone out there. But either way, he's a really good special teamer.
We have a question regarding Cameron Jordan.
I'm in.
Estimated contract 1 year, 6.8 to 7.5.
I'd rather have Clowney, but still in on Cam. You need another edge. So, yeah, I would be in.
By the way, you have a fan also here. Westish says, "Hey, boys, notice me. I love you. But also hear me. Give me David Njoku. I never want to need to draft a position ever again."
Thank you. My guy. That's it. You draft players, not positions. You fill the needs now. Let's go. That's the mindset. I love it. That's the mindset.
I know we've talked about Leo Chenal, but we might as well bring it up from time to time because I do still see him in the comments. AK Wallace says, real odds on getting Leo Chenal at this point?
I don't know that they're in. Like, I knew they were in on JFM. I knew they were in on Cook. You could kind of decipher that they'd be in on Mafe, but I wasn't like specifically told that. And I think that's how I would classify Chenal. Like, if they are in on him, it's because you just read the tea leaves and you look at the fit and it makes sense. We'll see. I think they really know, like they know they have to add there, and they probably view it as their biggest need as of right now that needs to be addressed still outside of defensive tackle, but defensive tackle, there's not like that guy. And so, yeah, I think Leo Chenal, I would say, I'm never going to say higher than 50-50, right? Even if there's interest, you got to find the 31 other teams. You got to beat those out for him. And 30 in this case, I don't think he's going back to Kansas City. So I think it's certainly possible. But yeah, I'll say 50-50. But okay, cool. I just saw some breaking news. It's just Tyquan Thornton to the Chiefs. No big deal.
Okay.
I saw Chiefs colors. I was like, oh, shoot. So, yeah, I would say 50-50, which is pretty good if you think about it that way. Really. Coin flip.
Man, there's a number of things. There's some fun ones. I don't know who's still around. I've saved some people are asking me about like concert things. I'm not going to get into that right now, but I have saved it for maybe a rapid fire at the end. Here's one that I've been sitting on for a bit. Fuzzy says, if putting us in charge, you and I, James, of the Bengals, what would you do to improve our NFL worst run defense before the season, either in free agency or the draft?
Well, they've already done it. They've already gotten better. They have. Because Mafe's better against the run than Trey. And Miles, you would think would be at least as good as Osai against the run. Or if you want to flip it the other way and say Miles is better against the run than Trey and Mafe's better or as good as Osai, whatever, however you want to say it. So I think that does help. But to your point, and by the way, the other thing is Geno Stone's not going to be trying to tackle any of these running backs. You got a guy who is going to hit in Bryan Cook, and he's going to deliver some hits, and he's going to cook for you. And not miss tackles and deliver the wood when he needs to. So they are better. I would be in on. That's what it's really what I think is interesting, because the Bengals, no matter what you say, no matter what you do here, not getting John Franklin Myers, there's not like a guy that you could view in that light that can be a huge piece in the middle of your defense and help against the run, give you some pass rush juice. That isn't a nose like a DJ Reader. There's just not many guys that, like, maybe you think Logan Hall can be that guy, but there's just not many. And so it would probably have to be the draft. And then that's when is it Peter Woods? Is it Caleb Banks? And it's tough to find that guy. So if I'm just really worried about stopping the run, I would sign DJ Reader and I'd go Reader Slayton. I'd put Clowney on one edge and then I would go into the draft and I would say, here are my guys. And I think they'd be much better against the run. Now, you need to add a linebacker in that mix too, whether it's Leo Chenal or someone else, because you need to have guys that can run, tackle, hit, and do all of the above. And they added 2 of those guys today. And so it's a step in the right direction.
There has been some talk about Jalen Carter, potential trades.
Sure.
Would you trade the 10 pick for Jalen Carter?
I would need to figure out who he is behind the scenes. How big of a head case is he? Is he a head case? The off the field stuff is just, you have to know, like if you're giving up the 10th pick, you have to know that this guy's going to be okay when he makes $150 million. And I'm not saying that would be his deal, but his deal would literally be like 4 years, 116 months. Like, it would be like the Alec Pierce deal. Like, it would be very close to that deal. And it's just a lot of money. You know, maybe it's 4 for 108. It's 27 per year. All right. Well, if you're giving up the 10th pick and giving him that money, he better be the dude. Not a guy, not pretty good. Like, he needs to be the effing man, the standard setter, the hardest worker, the guy that's really to come in and going to dictate this. This is how we're going to do things. Like, if he's not that, then no, you just can't do it because it's just too much. And you might as well roll the dice on the 10th pick with a Caleb Banks or someone like that. Because if you're just getting a guy and giving up all those resources and the 10th pick, that's a painful way to do it. Now, do I think he's super talented? Absolutely. Would I take him as a player? For sure. Like, I get it. I obviously see what he can give you and how unique it is. But those other things, the intangible stuff that I've praised Bryan Cook for multiple times over this past couple months and certainly today, you need to make sure he has at least some of that. Because if he does, then hell yeah, do it. But if he doesn't, you know, Albert Haynesworth is the perfect option. Like, I don't know if I want to. I used to work with someone. It would be really easy to decipher this. I don't know if he wants me to name his name. I don't think he cares. But I used to work with someone that was a teammate of Albert Haynesworth's when he got his big deal. And he was like, that dude was the laziest dude ever. And just because you're physically gifted and you can dominate doesn't mean that you're going to go dominate. So if you're giving up the 10th pick and you're giving him a record-breaking deal, and that's what it will be, he will sign a record-breaking deal. You have to be sure of that.
There's a couple more I want to bring up here. Oh, by the way, I've been sitting on this for a bit. Michael Rolf's just like crazy with these super chats. Appreciate it. This isn't super chat, but being a member just reminded me of this. I got another one of him as well. But
Michael's the man.
Mike Evans quote about Jamar. I meant to actually
have to take him to dinner with all these super chats.
Yeah, that's right. Did you see people recalling the Mike Evans quote about Jamar about being the best? I'm gonna have to paraphrase. I wish I had it in front of me, but it was essentially Mike Evans saying like, "Hey, like he's probably the best out there." I would say that about myself, but if it wasn't for me, like he would be the best out there type thing. You know what I mean? Just kind of hyping himself up, but also saying like Jamar's the real deal.
I got you. Here we go. He's a guy where if you said he was better than me, I don't think anybody's better than me. But if you said him, I would understand. Yeah. Jamar's a freak, dude. He's a freak. That's why he can crash out and say, we better have a good pass protection scheme that week. Pass plan. Protection. I think protection plan is what he said. But Jamar's the man. And when Mike Evans says it, you know it's true because Mike has been the best. Mike got Johnny Football into a first round pick. That's how good Mike Evans is.
Logan says, What do you think stopped them from pursuing John Franklin Myers and Devin Lloyd? Was it the second-year guarantees, pivoting to a cheaper option? Like, what's your speculation, of course? Not that you don't know for sure.
I don't know for sure. I think there's probably a level they were willing to go to, and clearly when Franklin Myers agreed to his deal, he had over $42 million in guarantees. You look at Mafe and you look at Cook, and those guarantees weren't there. Now, the year one cash is there. And so the year one cash is the bonus now and then roster bonus third day of the new league year next year, like in the calendar year. That's what that means. And so like I think I saw Cook is going to get $18 million over the next calendar year. That's how that contract is set up. And so that's how the Bengals do it. And it's still a lot of money, but it's different than the guarantee part of it. So that's part of it. I think the guarantee part was a major factor. The other part, and Landon brings it up here in the comments if you're watching, but the Titans were always in on JFM. You have the Robert Saleh connection from the New York days. They made the trade where they sent Tavondre Sweat, a defensive lineman, out to get Jermaine Johnson. Last week it was. And so when you're opening up that defensive tackle spot next to Jeffrey Simmons, you're doing that because you want to get another disruptor, another guy. And so the Titans were always the favorite. They got it done. The Bengals tried to get in. A few other teams tried to get in. I think the guarantees probably kept the Bengals from being a favorite, but they were in the mix because they value that. That's something they've coveted. They want an interior disruptor, and they haven't been able to find the right guy over the past couple of years, and that's going to be on their radar I think regardless of what they do in free agency, it's certainly going to be on their radar going into the draft.
Michael Rolfe, again, appreciate you, man. Jeez. It says, legitimate concern I have. The Chiefs, I thought about this too. The Chiefs take Caleb Downs at 9. Yeah, considering what they've lost, I mean, to the Bengals and others. They take Caleb Downs at 9 as a concern, and the second concern is that the Bengals panic and take Keldrick Falk or Peter Woods.
Yeah, I get it. I would say this. There are plenty of good players in this draft not named Caleb Downs. I think that it's twofold. Like if they take Caleb Downs, and there's going to be a lot of time to talk about this, but like long story short, I was a big Dax Hill fan. He was really high on their board. I know for a fact now he was 11th on their board. I was bullish on him on this channel. The draft Dax. Would I have been as bullish had I known how they were going to use him the first 3 years? I don't know, man. Because they didn't maximize him. They didn't put him in a position to succeed. They didn't get him on the field right away. They plopped him behind Jesse, and they didn't use his skill set their way. And so do they have a better plan for Caleb Downs, who, if you draft him 10, is coming into a Bryan Cook, Jordan Battle? You better believe Jordan Battle is going to be working his butt off because he's got to get paid too by someone if they draft Caleb Downs. And so guess what? You're going to have to use Downs all over the field to maximize him. And so if that's their plan, great. If not, well, then we can make this argument all day long, but there's a lot of safeties in this draft. And so that's where I'm at with Downs. But do I think that there are other good players they could get? Yeah, that aren't Keldrick Falk. And yeah, look, I think we've done as good of a job probably as any entity. And when you look at our channel, obviously we've had Joe Goodberry on and Jake, and we've set the board and we've done all those things pre-draft. Like the past 3 years, we've projected the Bengals board and it ultimately landed. I'm not saying the Bengals board was identical to ours. Obviously that's not true, but it landed on the player they picked. Like the best player we had left on our board was the player they ended up picking. You can't predict the draft. You try to get it. And so will we have an idea Falk is really going to be in the mix? Absolutely. Would they do that? On March 9th, I don't feel like that's the case. But going into the week of the draft, that's when I really started to realize that Shamar Stewart could be the guy. And so we'll see. There's a lot of time. But I wouldn't be like, oh, man, the Chiefs are going to get down, so the Bengals are going to draft a bust. Like I just can't view it that way. If the Bengals do what they need to do this week and next week, they're going to be able to get a hell of a player because they're drafting the player, not the position at 10. And that's what their mindset should have been entering free agency earlier today and should be throughout this week as they add to their team. That's why I want the Clownies and the stabilizing pieces that raise the floor of your defense. So you don't feel compelled to reach for a Falk or reach for a Peter Woods if you don't feel like he's the best player.
I'm seeing a lot of comments as we're talking through this, just to reiterate that when we post this audio later, this is live. I'm seeing a lot of comments. The Chiefs just signed like 2 safeties in the last 15 minutes. Okay.
Well, the Chiefs' biggest need isn't safety anyway. It's corner.
Right.
Like they just lost 2 corners to the Rams who paid a ton of money for both of them. You know, they traded for McDuffie, but then they signed the other corner too. I'm forgetting his name, but is it Watts? Anyways, it doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. Corner is in play for the Chiefs at 9. And I could totally see them trading down from like 9 to 14 or whatever, and then taking a corner there. So yeah, their biggest need is cornerback in Kansas City.
If there was a way to just search words in this chat, I cannot believe, I swear 1 out of every 5 is the word Chenal. Like if you were to run like an AI sort of chat bot to like do a word cloud, Chenal would be the biggest like A-bomb looking cloud in this word cloud of this chat, just to paint a picture for those that aren't seeing this live chat. Wanted to...
Sorry, I just looked and
what you got?
Oh, nothing.
Oh, come on! What was that? What are you doing to me?
I got a text from someone that matters, but it wasn't like anything good. I thought it might be good, and I wasn't talking about Jake Liscow. He texted me too because I said we'll record around 11.
Oh boy,
I'm always late. It's all right. He knows.
It's on 11 his time. He'll be all right.
Yeah.
Didn't he jump on the last time we did a free agency late night?
Yeah, I didn't invite. He live streamed all day today. I'm good.
That's true.
I don't want to like do that to him.
I think that's right, because then you guys had to bounce to do Locked On afterwards.
Yeah, and we still will.
By the way,
Trey's interesting. I think Trey ended up in Florida. All right, let's go through some of these. Let's go.
Do a couple fun ones real quick, and this is going to be great for audio version. By the way, let's show me this face, James. I am trying to imagine who Day Fitz Day says what James's face would look like if we signed Tyreek Hill as wide receiver 3.
I need to know about that knee, brother. Like I love the idea.
You don't need to know about any knee. There's going to be a face. I don't care.
I would think about it, but then I'd be like, all right, well, how's that knee? Can he still run? You know who I want as wide receiver 3? Dead serious, and like they should be in on.
Mm-hmm.
Darnell Mooney. How about that? Really measured. David Njoku and Darnell Mooney, suddenly they are just loaded. They're caked up. That's what they'd be caked up, man. You could roll into anywhere. Like, let's say Jamar's out for 2 weeks. You got T, you got Yoshi, you got Gesicki and Njoku and Darnell Mooney. Joe Burrow would slice and like T would either have a $150 or all those other guys would have a bunch. Obviously, Chase Brown too. Like, my goodness, like that. Those are the things. Like Darnell Mooney, what like a 1 year whatever it is or 2 year whatever it is. Those are the type of moves that go so under the radar that matter when he has 8 catches for 78 yards and a touchdown against the Ravens and a win. So yeah, Darnell Mooney would be my target. Not Stephon Diggs, not Tyreek Hill. Darnell Mooney. There you go.
Jake Lisco's in the chat, says, you keep ignoring me, all caps. I'm not
you're
all right.
Jake Liscow UV6S.
Yeah, like, what is that? Jake, learn how to change your screen name. It's YouTube. This isn't complex.
Jake Liscow.
That's why you're being ignored. It's not because you're not super chatting. Also, you have our numbers. You could easily have just jumped on. Get out of here with your Jake Liscow. Oh, I'm sorry. I got an encrypted message from Jake from my phone would block whatever that is you're messaging with. What's wrong with you, Jake? Jeez. I have texted James 30 times, Jake says. Oh, wow. Okay. Can I put him in time? I can put him in timeout in the YouTube platform because, I mean, that looks like spam. That name. What are you doing, Jake? How's your channel even called that? My goodness. Sorry, I'm hitting the wrong chat here, but. I'm going to pull up. I know we got to wrap it here, James, but I do want to see.
No wide receiver draft takes yet.
I don't have that.
We'll get there. No, I know. I'm just answering as I see him coming in.
I got you. Okay.
Legit eliminator. I answered on Dre Greenlaw. I'd be in depending on the price, but I'd be focused on Chenal right now.
Yeah, I've had there was a number. I've queued a number of things about the draft. There's so much time to talk about the draft, and I appreciate these questions, but there's just goodness.
We'll get to the draft. I promise. We're gonna be live tomorrow. Just so you guys know. Like, we're going to be live all week. We'll reset with that.
I'm going to just flash up new members as we're talking. Keep talking. Don't let me distract
by the way, become a member. You pin that chat? The link?
I didn't. I chatted
link?
it, but I mean, the link looked like Jake's Lisco's YouTube name. It was just, I didn't put enough of a message on it. I'll get around it. People can find out how. You literally can hit join right underneath this video. They know how to use YouTube better than Jake, apparently. Amanda knows how to use YouTube better than Jake. Timothy knows how to use YouTube better than Jake.
Here we go.
Valentino.
Here's how.
Westish. You all know how to use YouTube better than Jake Liscow.
There we go. I just pinned it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry about Andrew, who just unbelievable. But become a member. We would love for that because I'll share tidbits of anything I hear, including the could have been really good thing. And I asked someone about an update about a particular free agent, and they said, I'll read it without saying who because it's not going to give it away. LOL, stop it. Because I asked a very direct question. It's like, you gonna get that deal done tonight? So regardless, I appreciate all the members, appreciate all of the interaction we have. We're not going yet. We'll get a few more questions in, but overall successful first day of free agency for the Bengals. More is coming, for sure. More is coming, but these two additions were musts. They're going to help the Bengals in a big way. Hopefully, pass rush and run game and pass defense and all of those things. Somewhere Geno Stone is working on his shoulder shrugs, and and we got up to at least 1,400 concurrent, maybe 1,500 concurrent. So that was it's big.
King Savage Maddie 99 says, "We are live from the Great Wolf Lodge, boys. Appreciate you all for working hard, keeping me up to speed. I'm way too many margaritas deep. Yeah, those margaritas will cost you at Great Wolf Lodge, no doubt.
Are they good, Andrew? I haven't been to Great Wolf Lodge.
I haven't had a margarita there, but I know like a beer, like this beer would have probably been like $12 there. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
I might even be lowballing that one.
This beer would have been $12.
That's how I sounded.
He's already asking for super chats. He said, "This beer that I'm going to get a Great Wolf Lodge."
Oh no, I'm not doing that.
I'm joking.
Don't super chat me beer money, please.
No, I'm joking. I'm joking. Do you have any more that we didn't answer? I just want to make sure we answer them all.
Yeah.
Super chats or super interesting questions that we should answer. Apparently Jake Liscow is taken. Yeah, it is, Jake.
I actually been sitting on this one for a bit. I was trying to think of a good time to bring it up, but it is an interesting point because I've seen the reports of who's getting comp picks, and obviously the Bengals aren't getting it this draft. But so many teams, says Dustin Croft, so many teams are just playing the comp pick game, as he refers to it, this go round. It tells you a lot about this free agency class. Feels like a lot of teams are in a rebuild.
Interesting. Yeah,
I'd have to like dig into that. I hadn't thought about it.
I would. There are teams that certainly play the comp pick game. When you draft well, you can do that. Like I'm sure Seattle, to a degree, like they re-signed Rashid Shaheed. They're going to re-sign some of their guys. Like they probably will have some comp picks coming their way. The interesting development today when it comes to the Bengals and comp picks is Cordell Volson. And Cordell Volson's the nicest guy in the world. Really excited. I was hoping he'd be back selfishly because I just like having him around. Good dude. But inked like a $2.1 million deal with the Titans, could be worth up to like $4 million. And like that may qualify for a comp, like into the comp pick scenario. So the Bengals have 2 out. Well, Cordell, it could be a third out. And Trey, obviously, is someone that could be out. You know, like what is Geno Stone sign for? What is Cam Taylor-Britt sign for? So like there are a lot of guys, 2 in, by the way, but there's a lot of guys that could be out. So maybe they cross-check. Like Dre Greenlaw doesn't count against the comp pick. Like he just, there might be a chance. Also, I really want to point this out. The biggest win of the day was the Bengals not trading for Rashawn Gary. Rashawn Gary, a 4th rounder for that contract is absolutely insane. The Dallas Cowboys they'll probably offer Trey Hendrickson $50 million per at that rate, but insane. Like I would have rather paid Trey Hendrickson $40 million per year than trade for that Rashawn Gary contract. And trading a 4th for it is just absolutely asinine. The most ridiculous thing like the worst move of the day happened before free agency started. There is nothing worse than that. Not Malik Willis, not releasing Tua, nothing. There's nothing worse than that deal. Just absolutely ridiculous to do that, a 4th rounder for an awful contract with a guy that hasn't had a sack. Like his last sack was like when Trey Hendrickson's last sack was, but he was healthy. You know, like interested in him, fine, but not doing that.
I don't like thinking about Green Bay any longer anyway, after traveling there with you for my worst Green Bay trip of my entire life.
Whatever. It's your fault. Buy a ticket.
Buy a ticket, he says. Buy a ticket. Never.
I'm not getting into
that.
Yeah.
All right. So, by the way, big news, everybody. Jake fixed it with an underscore that Jake's not happy with. But
right way, Houday, my guy.
Since he's a member, I wanted to throw up that I gave him the breaking news moment of Jake fixing his YouTube handle. Good job, everybody. Win-win. What a day one of free agency. Look at all the big developments happening.
Yeah.
I'll leave with this, just a fun one. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this. I've been sitting on this lounge fly as if I'm going to go to see Jimmy Eat World this year. Yeah, they're touring, but they're not coming to Cincinnati. So unless James is going to travel with me or something, I don't know. No. You like going to beaches and yelling at me for not being invited to go to the beach with you.
I mean, I would love to go to the beach. It's supposed to get cold, what, like next week or something? I don't know.
Let's leave on this. Jim, he says, will we wake up tomorrow morning to another Bengals sign?
Well, I will not. I'm waking up in 6 hours from right now.
James is like, I'm going to be awake. So there's no waking up when I'm going to be
There's
always
no waking up. No, like I'll probably burn out Wednesday-ish. I'll start to get a little tired, but I'm hoping to be up at it, not miss anything tomorrow, Wednesday, and then hopefully into Thursday. Then it's like, all right, well, it's kind of settled and I can get back into a routine. But it's kind of like the draft. You're like, all right, well, let's sprint for a little bit. So yeah, I hope so. I don't think so. I do think if I had to guess, I'd say something happens by noon tomorrow. Something. Because they're working, like they probably put a pin in it as of now, and they're working. Guys are thinking contracts over, thinking deals over. Maybe the Bengals are kind of reevaluating what's there and all of those things. So yeah, I would say so.
I was trying not to.
Yeah, I know. There's a new water right here. I keep going.
No. That wasn't that. It's just you talking about them putting a pin in it, and I was going to make a comment, like just be. Yeah.
No, Jeff.
Like, 9 to 5, unless Orlando Brown Jr.'s agent's calling them and it goes through the call forwarding and it reaches the right person that's on call or something,
Jeff said you need a new water. I have one right here. I don't know why. It's just habit. I keep going after this one, but it's literally full of water.
All right. You go do Locked On.
Yep. I'm going to do Locked On with Jake Liscow. We will be back live tomorrow night. In the meantime,
unless something crazy is happening sooner, but yeah, odds are it'll be 8 o'clock
anything breaks. Yeah, we'll be live at some point tomorrow. But if anything breaks, we will do the instant reaction videos like we did today. And please hit that subscribe button. We just crossed 64,000 subscribers. If you're looking for more, check out bengalstalk.com. We've got like 20 articles up. Like Jay Morrison has his grades for both signings. We have multiple analysis pieces, different things, what Joseph Osai's departure means, what different metrics and things for these guys that stand out. So like there's a lot on the site right now that's worth checking out. So yeah, I'm going to go do Locked On, and we'll be back with you tomorrow. Unless there's news. If news breaks, guess what? I'm waking Andrew up and we're rolling, baby. So
I'm going to be up late editing this hour and 20 minutes of audio.
Oh yeah, it's so tough. It's so tough to be Andrew.
I got to take out a lot of things you say.
But you don't got to take out anything.
Time.
Just roll with it.
Time.
People
it
are
takes
fine.
Time.
Guess what? Ignore Andrew. I always do. We'll talk to you soon. I'm James Rapien. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good night. We'll talk to you tomorrow.